And welcome everyone back to the channel. I am Zach, your host here on the YoBro Nation YouTube channel, and this is your AEW Full Gear review for November 7th, 2020. Oh, that was a long show. Fucking holy crap, that was long. My mic is on. I'm actually live. No issues. I know when I did the Hell in a Cell review a few weeks ago, Lord knows I had a ton of issues getting that thing going, so I actually ended up having to record it and redo it, so probably lost a lot of views, but it's taken care of. I'm here, it's live. That main event, that flippin' main event was insane. Not the most brutal match. It wasn't the Full Gear main event from last year, but oh my goodness. This was a roller coaster of a show tonight. Like a really crazy roller coaster. Damn, I mean, even matches that I wasn't extremely invested in really ended up like catching me off guard tonight. They blew my expectations out of the water. It was just completely insane. But the show overall was fantastic. Cody versus Darby ended how I knew it should have ended. My prediction was wrong, but I'm okay that I was wrong. Darby picking up that TNT championship was the absolute right decision, and they've already set up what's next for Darby, so I'm super stoked about that. MJF versus Jericho. What a fucking match, man. That was like one of the most shocking finishes. Well, not a shocking finish, but that was a shockingly really good match. Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose ended up being way better than I think it had any business being, considering there was no build. And by far the two best matches overall tonight was Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega to open the show, and the Young Bucks versus FTR. There are no words, and I mean no words, that I can give you guys to do those matches justice. None. Just holy crap. Holy crap is the best that I can do. This show was fantastic. From start to finish. I don't think this was the best AEW pay-per-view. I still think probably All Out or Double or Nothing last year holds those titles. But man, this was awesome. Hell, Orange Cassidy John Silver was really good. I would, and I really hate to say this, if there was any weak link on this show, it was probably the buy-in match. I missed the first part of it, but I did take notes for it, but there was some spots during that match that it just seemed like they were so off on their timing, and they were just waiting for spots to start to happen. I don't know what happened. I expected that match to be fire. And it ended up kind of under-delivering to me. Maybe others will have a different opinion than me, but for me, it under-delivered. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Before I do, though, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share, and tell your friends about the channel. Trying to get to 100 subs before the end of the year. I'm super close. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can get all notifications for all the new videos. I got a bunch coming between now and the end of the year. So I got a bunch coming this month. We still got a Survivor Series review to do this year. We got more retro rewinds, best of the best countdowns. I got some Star Wars reviews that are going to start coming on the channel. I do Supernatural reviews, Walking Dead reviews. At some point, I'm going to review The Mandalorian. Lots of stuff to come on the channel. And if you're not on our social media, go to Twitter, go to Facebook, YoBro Nation on Twitter, YoBro Gaming 1 on YoBro Gaming 1 on Twitter, YoBro Nation on Facebook. It's wrong on the thumb on here, but you guys can go to the links down below, and it's on there. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to get into this review because this was a long show. I'll go into the buy-in. Like I said, I missed some of that because I was still trying to get. I got home late, trying to get some stuff taken care of, had to use the bathroom, etc. And I came in with the match already starting. Serena Deeb versus Allison Kay for the NWA Women's World Championship. And it just felt like that there was just something off about the match. Some spots that were slow. Allison Kay looked gassed during this match, and I was just watching her a few months ago on NWA Power, and she looked fine. She looked like she was doing fine. Oh, it's been longer than a few months, but I don't know. Maybe she's not really worked since the pandemic started, but she looked okay then. I don't know what the deal is now, but she looked gassed. And if you're in the comments and you are saying anything to me, I don't have the chat pulled up in front of me, so I can always take a look. Yeah, I don't have anything. Give me just a second here, guys. Pull this up, so if I need to, I can see what's going on. All right, so I can always check. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, if you guys leave any comments down in the chats or any questions, I will gladly read those at the end of the review. Just so you guys know, but I had to pull up the chat so I could kind of get a look at that. But yeah, the match, it just seems so off to me. But Serena Deeb, though, still ends up walking away as the NWA Women's World Champion. There was a really nice spine buster, though, by Madison. I was going to call her Madison Rain. By Allison Kay during the match. You get some nice swinging neck breaker, and then another neck breaker by Serena Deeb. Lazy covers by Allison Kay. But you get Serena Deeb with a nice little, little double underhook face buster. She gets a tequila sunrise, and Kay taps out. Then we do get Thunder Rosa after the match. She comes out, and she's challenging. She's challenging for the championship, I suppose, and she's wanting to challenge for the title. So I don't know, maybe we set that up for Revolution. That's going to be in February, or maybe we do it for the final episode of the year. Who knows what they're going to do. We get into the Full Gear pay-per-view proper. We get the intro package for the show was great. The way they just encapsulated everything that's been going on in AEW. All the promo packages tonight were awesome. That I can just cover them all. All those promo packages tonight were beautifully done. Probably my favorite one was the one for Omega and Hangman. The way they went and used some 80s rock, you don't know what you got till it's gone. One of the best songs of the 80s. I know they used it on Dynamite on Wednesday. They used it again tonight. It hit us off. It hit a spot in my heart, man. It hit a spot in my heart, and I loved it. Excalibur, Tony Khan was on commentary. Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross were on commentary, as they usually are. So we opened up the show with the World Championship Eliminator Finals, Kenny Omega versus Adam Hangman Page. Don Callis, Impact Management, was on commentary as a favor to Kenny Omega. He did really well on commentary tonight, being able to give you a little more insight into Kenny Omega, into his background, what he does, his moves. It was really nice to have Don Callis. Actually, commentary tonight overall was pretty freaking good. This is probably one of their better performances on commentary. I think they're finally starting to really gel. JR was really quippy tonight. Fantastic work by these guys. And look, you all may disagree with me. It is just my opinions. So we get the Sweeper Girls to come out. Big pop for Kenny. Kenny gets, he gets the big pop. He's coming out. He's approaching the cleaner gimmick. He's getting there. Big pop for Adam Page as well. Okay. This match. I feel so bad for Orange Cassidy and John Silver having to follow this match. Because this match, man, this match was just fantastic. Where am I at here? Looking through my notes. So Kenny starts the match. Look, if you didn't watch this, order this pay-per-view on Fight TV. Go back and watch this pay-per-view. Look this match up on YouTube. I guarantee you'll be in its entirety in a few days. I'm not saying pirate something, but just go watch this match if you can. Kenny wants to shake hands with Page, but Page does decline. Both men aggressively lock up. Kenny goes for a drop kick, misses. Then he misses a V-trigger. Exchange in chops with the two men. A nice snap head scissors takeover by Kenny Omega. Nice fall away slam by Adam Page. Elbow on the apron by Omega. But then Page slams Page into the turnbuckle. Goes up top. He gets caught a superplex by Adam Page. He only gets a 2 count. Then they end up going to the outside to fight some more chops. Page starts to throw Omega into the barricade. Tries to throw him into it again, but Omega jumps, lands on the barricade, and then does a nice moonsault off, catching Page on the outside. You get the jumping leg lariat onto Adam Page, the leg lace. He only gets another 2 count. Some more back and forth chops. These guys chopped the fuck out of each other during this match. Chopped the crap out of each other during this match. Knee by Kenny Omega, rolling senton and a springboard moonsault out of the corner for a 2 count. You get a front chancery by Omega, but Page ends up getting out of it. Some more chops. Page then dumps Omega onto the apron. He goes for the jumping clothesline off the middle rope. Page then dives to the outside, but misses. Omega with a tope onto the outside onto Page. A drop kick off the top rope by Kenny Omega, who at this point is in full control, looking fantastic. Like this match, I'm reading words to you, but I'm telling you what I'm saying is not doing this match any justice. You get a beautiful drop kick off the top by Omega. I already said that. Omega goes for the one-winged angel, but Page counters that. Lifts him up onto his shoulders to go for it. He gets put onto the apron. He gets hit with a V-trigger. Omega to the outside, gets caught. Counter. They end up fighting onto the outside. Page they have a series of exchanges, and then Omega ends up being power bombed after he's been springboarded off the ropes onto the rampway. Page with another sit-out powerbomb on the inside of the ring for a 2 count. He tries to walk away, but Omega's holding his ankle, that desperate feeling, trying to hold him like, no, I can't let you go. Omega gets kicked in the face, and then you get these guys, they start doing some back and forth shots. Omega starts to build some momentum. Hit with a rolling elbow by Page. Omega takes a shot, hits the Tiger 98 only for a 2 count. Misses another V-trigger. You get a series of German attempts, both men landing on their feet. Then you get Omega getting hit with the clothesline, hit with a dead eye for a 2 count by Page. Page then stacks him with a pin for a 2 count. Dragon screw on the rope by Omega, catching the knee. He runs the ropes. Page ends up jumping, going for the buckshot lariat, but he misses. Gets hit with a V-triggers, back-to-back, one-wing angel, and Omega wins the Eliminator Tournament. That was a lot of stuff to go through. It was a big, long match. This is probably like a half-hour long match. And I'm telling you, I know I've said it once, but this just does it. Absolutely no justice. This match, it was just fantastic. I'm telling you, go back and watch this match if you haven't already. Afterwards, Omega's kind of sitting there over him, and I think he's probably talking to him, and he kind of taps him on the shoulder a little bit, kind of like a sign of respect. But then afterwards, just you could see it all over Page's face. He looks just defeated. The match was everything I hoped for. I feel like maybe they held a little bit back during this match because I do believe at some point we're going to get these two again, and it's going to be for the World Championship when Kenny is the champ, because that's destined to happen. Not that I want to see Moxley have the title taken off of him, but there's no way they're not putting this title on Omega. Just no. There's no way that's happening. We move on. Orange Cassidy taking on number 4, John Silver of the Dark Order. And this match, like I already said, was way better than it had any business being. This match was awesome. Yeah, they get a little stare down and kind of a little bit of a pose off. You get Orange Cassidy's and hands in the pocket. It was funny to watch. Nice headlock takedown and a thumbs up by Orange Cassidy. He does his little soft kicks, and the whole time he's doing it, John Silver's just like, no, this doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt. And he sets up for the super kick. But John Silver goes for a clothesline, and Cassidy ducks that. And then he hits a drop kick. Silver, though, ends up slamming him, rips the pockets out of his pants, and tries to eat them. Yeah, that was a thing that happened. And then he throws Orange Cassidy across the ring a couple times. He slows the pace down. He starts working over freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. There's a spot where he's doing like a spinning. He goes for a spinning DDT, but he gets caught, and John Silver lifts him up into a suplex, and then he poses. He did that a lot in this match. He posed a bunch, and it kind of led to his demise, honestly. A series of hard Irish whips into the corner by John Silver. He's jaw-jacking. You got the guns on the outside. He's jaw-jacking with him. Keeps posing. Goes for another Irish whip, but Cassidy does the old Ric Flair over the top rope. Runs John Silver's head into the 2 turnbuckles on that side of the ring. Hits a huge DDT. Does a diving crossbody with his hand in his pockets for only a 2 count. Both men up top. John Silver's trying for a superplex, but Orange Cassidy gets out of it. Tries to get him with a kick, but he gets pulled down off the ring. And this man, I honestly can say I've never seen this. John Silver, he is standing the fuck out. Does a one-armed gorilla press slam, dropping Orange Cassidy onto the top rope. And he doesn't just for a second. No, he's holding him up there for a good minute. It was a sight to behold, and I was shocked as hell that he was able to do that. So John Silver is in charge. Orange Cassidy with a kip up. Goes for the orange punch, but misses. Gets a series of kicks. John Silver goes for the spin doctor, but Cassidy ends up countering that into a stun dog millionaire. Silver does end up hitting the spin doctor, but only gets a 2 count. Orange Cassidy finally hits the orange punch, hits a beach breaker, and wins. And afterwards, you get the Okada zoom out with the best friends in Orange Cassidy with a hug. You will see them later in the show, because I'm going to skip this now. You see them later in the show where they're having an interview. Kip Sabian, Penelope Ford, and Miro come. They want a freaking apology for what happened on Dynamite. Cassidy says he apologizes. He gets slapped. They leave. And this is probably setting up to a 6-man or a tag team match of some sort. The match was, actually, like I said, it was really good. Way better than I think it had any business of being. But I was shocked that it was so good, and I really did enjoy it. So, yeah. Fantastic match. Really good. Just giving Orange Cassidy another win. And John Silver, I can't speak enough to how well this man ended up looking in this match. He stood out. He even did a spot that was an homage to his leader Brody Lee. The man's got so much charisma. He doesn't even need to be in the Dark Order. He was fantastic. But I'm going to move on. TNT Championship, Cody defending against Darby Allin. Again, fantastic promo. During the buy-in, I don't remember for sure if they ran it during the main show. But during the buy-in, they ran the promo, and Darby explains why half his face is painted black with the white, because he was in a car accident and his uncle died and he survived. So he said he felt like half of him was already dead. Like, wow. But watching this promo, there was no way Darby could not win this match. You know, even Cody having the line in the promo, like, if Darby wins, who is he? Like, he kept putting over the fact that he had beat Darby several times. So I just felt like there was no way that Cody could win this, even though I predicted Cody to win, just because I thought they were maybe going a route with Cody. And maybe they're not. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But Darby comes out in the car, smashes the windshield with his skateboard, comes to the ring, and then Cody with the entire Nightmare family comes out. They both get really big pops. They mentioned how Cody had put on 14 pounds of muscle. Yeah, you can kind of tell. Cody's like getting ripped. Dude he's looking like he's a beefy boy right now. Darby's on the outside. He's just kind of ignoring them all out there. He gets the big grandio entrance and announcement. Mike Chioda. This is what I want to talk about. Mike Chioda was the referee for this match. Thank you, AEW, for giving that man a job. One of the best goddamn referees in all of wrestling was just let go when all of this stuff first started. So I really think AEW was great for picking him up. He's a fine referee. He even got Mike Chioda chance. He was going to lift the belt up, and Cody's like, wait, just wait a second. And he's just like, just listen to it. And just Mike Chioda, and I was like, that is awesome. Like, legit, probably one of the best moments of the entire night. Just hearing that, if for nothing else, just because. Just because I think it was nice to hear. But, this match was... wow. It was clearly the third best match. Maybe the fourth best match on this card at worst. It's a toss-up between a couple of them. But Cody played that... He walked that line throughout this match between heel and face. Like, he played out the heel. Because I'm sure Cody's a smart guy. Cody, and by the way, Cody's got the rights to be Cody Rhodes again, but I'm guessing he's going to just stick with Cody. But he really towed the line between heel and face. Like, he knew people wanted Darby to win. And the way he worked Darby's arm during this match, he made Darby Allin look like $1 million. Nobody can take away from Cody Rhodes how fantastic he really is at telling stories in this ring. I have to take it back. Cody's the ace of AEW. No doubt. EVP or not, he knows what's best for business. So I tip my cap to you, sir, for a job well done and putting the belt on the right guy. Cody did the job for Darby, and it was a great moment. So these guys have a stare down. You have chants, and it feels like a big fight atmosphere, right? You get these guys in a feeling out process. Cody with a takedown, some standing switches, Darby with an elbow. Cody tries to grab at him, but Darby's quick, moving around. Cody rolls outside. He's conversing with Arn, his coach. You get a go behind by Darby, but Cody grabs the leg to take down again. He offers to help Darby up. Darby gets up, then he gives him a couple of arm drags. Cody again rolls out, but this time Darby follows to the outside with a tope. Cody and him get back in the ring. Cody gets him into a hammerlock, lifts him up like he's going to scoop slam him, but he throws Darby out. And I don't mean just like tosses him and he falls. No, he like throws him far. Like, I know Darby's a much smaller guy than Cody. And Cody just looks enormous against him. But, like, Susie saw that part and she was like, oh my God, like, he's hurt. I was like, well, ref's count, so he must be okay. So Cody, you know, he starts going for the arm, gets him into a key lock, stomps the arm. Cody then he's just working it. He, you know, freaking got him over the rope, pulls the arm down, starts jerking on it, gets him to a short arm scissors into a wrist lock. He's stretching Darby. Darby tries to counter a hammerlock, but ends up getting flattened face first into the mat. You get an arm bar by Cody. Cody starts doing some push-ups, and Arn's like, no, this was kind of played into the finish of the match. This is kind of part of the story. But Arn's like, no, get on him. Just beat him. Get it over with. Cody starts some trash talk. You get an avalanche arm bar, like an avalanche hammerlock where Cody's on the top rope and he just jumps off and just tosses him. That looked, I mean, Darby took some bumps in this match. Some really nasty bumps. Where am I? Yeah, so he avalanche hammerlock off the top rope into an arm breaker. Cody then goes up top, misses the moonsault, and then misses a splash into the corner. Darby goes for a springboard coffin drop, but Cody catches him. Darby fights out. Cody gets slapped by Darby. He hits a Yoshi torso. I have fucking autocorrect. He hits a move. It's I forgot the name of the move, but it starts with Yoshi. He only gets a 2 count. Cody attempts the crossroads, but Darby fights out of that. You get some more back and forth. Then you get a crossroads off the top rope. That looked brutal as well. Darby's arm is under the rope, so the count gets stopped at 2. Cody, you see the frustration. He's mad. He's starting to get frustrated. Darby tries to put Cody away with the sleeper with just one arm, but Cody just climbs to the top with Darby on his back, falls back on top of Darby. So Darby rolls out of the ring. Arm's telling him, use your head, just stay down. But he gets back in the ring at 9. Cody's mad, so you get a series of scoop slams by Cody, but Darby keeps getting up. Cody then gorilla press slams Darby. He gets a 2 count. Cody gets the weight belt. He's about to use it, but the referee's like, no. Mike Chioda's like, no, you're not going to use it. So Cody just drops it, and in one of the most unique uses of the weight belt, Darby Allin grabs it, sweeps the legs of Cody, and then does a roll-up. He bridges it into a pin attempt, which was actually quite nice. Cody then goes for the disaster kick, but misses. Darby then takes the advantage with a coffin drop, but only gets a 2 count. You get a series of pin reversals, and Darby, with the roll-up, gets the win. You see the shock on Arn's face, on Cody's face. Cody is just perplexed. But he kneels and presents the championship to Darby, making him the face of TNT. More happens after the match. So Taz comes out, cuts a promo, says enough with the emotions, the tears, etc. He says, man up, and tells them to take their bitch asses to the back. And that's when Ricky Starks and Brian Cage attacks both of them. Cody gets tossed to the outside. Ricky Starks goes to pick up the TNT title, but then Cage picks up the title, and they're kind of tugging it. Taz takes it look, neither of you have it. And he directs them to do more damage. Brian Cage carries Darby to the outside, out to where the fans would be. They got a set piece set up with the Full Gear logo. He goes to toss him into it, but Cody comes out. Cody tries to help him out. He ends up getting thrown into the barricade, and then Darby's thrown into the set piece. Then they drag him to the car he came in on. And this is where Susie's like, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, no. Would they write Darby off TV right after giving the title? No way. And they're going to break his arm. They have his arm like flailed out like this with the door that's going to come. Like, if it would have really slammed, it probably would have really did damage to him. But then Will Hobbs comes in and he makes the save. So that's setting up probably these guys versus those guys at some point. The match overall was wow. It was what I thought it would be. It was an amazing match. It actually could have been a show stealer, but then a couple matches happened afterwards that just, it was like with this show, every match tried to outdo the other one. Like everyone here was like, I've got to outdo. There was a couple exceptions, but not a bad match on the show. And this match was just continuing that train of fantastic. I was quite pleased. I was actually super pleased with the way this ended. So, man, if I could just, I would give this show easy 5 stars just off of this match. But I digress. Dasha with an interview with QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, the Nightmare Family. They could have proed on Butcher Blade and Allie about her stealing his credit card and using it and blah, 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 and trying to get into there. Because the most, as QT says, because, you know, the Nightmare Family is the most prolific family. Dude, you're not even a member of that family. Shut up. One of the most boring storylines. No one cares about Dustin Rhodes. But apparently we're doing a bunkhouse brawl on Monday, or on Wednesday. Then they announced a bunch of matches for Dynamite, that being one of them. We're getting Taya Conti taking on Red Velvet with Anna Jay in one corner and Brandy Rhodes in the other corner. So that's what we got. There's another match they announced. I can't quite remember. Oh, yeah. We're getting Pentagon Jr. versus Rey Fenix, which will be fantastic. Those are the matches that we already know we're going to get on Dynamite this week. AEW Women's Championship match. I was not giving this match much hope. I'm just going to be real. I had no expectations for this match, but I was wrong. So, just checking the comments. Who made surprise debut? There was no surprise debuts tonight. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, Aaron. Yeah, no spams if y'all can avoid it. So, thank you, RHPW, for liking that. So, yeah. Any questions? Like, I'll jump back in on that stuff towards the end of the stream. So, again. If you're not already a subscriber, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this video with your friends. More views? Great for me. So, AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose. Wow. My phone auto-corrected Nyla into Nyland Rose. That's stupid. Again, this match, it far exceeded my expectations. I don't think it was as good as their Double or Nothing match from early in the year, but that adds stipulations, and so you can do more. But this one, not bad. The ending was a little wonky, but we'll get there. So Hikaru comes out. She's very aggressive, just swinging on her. She actually stuns Nyla with one of the shots. She's got the pace quick, couple drop kicks in a row. Then hits her running knee for only a 1 count. Shida tries to whip Nyla, but Nyla kind of holds her, and then that's a reversal. But then Nyla gets dumped out, dropped onto the apron. You get, she sweeps her legs, so she falls on the apron, and then a running knee to Nyla's head on the apron. Shida goes to gets the chair, but Nyla ends up clotheslining her on the outside. She's starting to get some weapons from under the table, goes to get a chair, but Aubrey Edwards stops her from getting it. So Shida takes the advantage, tossing her into the barricade. Actually, she jumps at her and they both go through the barricade. Then Vicky Guerrero tries interfering. She hits, with a kendo stick, hits Shida in the knee with a kendo. Nyla starts to work the leg, wrenching it on the ring apron, gets it caught into the metal bars onto the ring apron and starts wrenching at it, and then wraps it around the post. She keeps working the leg, does a big splash on the leg, only for a 2 count. Nyla with a half crab bites the knee. There's a lot of biting on this show, especially these last 4 or 5 matches. A lot of people just biting their opponents. What the hell? We do have a pandemic going on. Why are you biting people? Ew, stop it. Hikaru starts to fight back, but she gets dropped face first by Nyla. Nyla then misses the senton off the top rope. A running elbow by Shida. Shida, though, does get a suplex, and they made it a big deal. She fights it, and she gets her up, and she drops her. And it was actually quite impressive. But after that, she was just hitting suplexes left and right. She goes for the running knee, but it gets blocked. You get a diving crossbody by Shida. Another suplex attempt, but that gets blocked. And then Nyla claws her knee. So the story of this match is just Shida's knee being all messed up. She then hangs Hikaru over the top rope. Dives off of the middle rope, or dives off the top, dropping her knees onto Hikaru's knees. Hikaru does fight back. You get some shots to Nyla on the top rope. She hits her face against the turnbuckle. She goes up top, hits a drop kick onto the ramp onto Nyla, then a drop kick off the top rope. She tries to run, but her knee's giving out. So you get a clothesline by Nyla into a version of the beast bomb that she does, but she pulls her up to stop the count. She's getting too cocky. You get Vicky screaming at her. And by the way, the running knee is called the Tamahashi. She hits another one, only gets a 2 count. Shida starts to build some momentum. She's on the top rope, hits a falcon arrow, a huge falcon arrow, to only get a 2. She goes for the Tamahashi, but Vicky grabs her leg. But that ends up faltering. She ends up getting, she gets out of the ring. She gets knocked out of the ring. Nyla Rose goes for her. Vicky tries to use a chair, but she gets ejected. Doesn't get ejected, but there's like I said, the end of the show, the end of the match was so wonky. Basically, though, Nyla ends up getting pushed into Vicky, knocking her down. Shida then tosses her into the barricade a few times, gets her back in the ring, hits her with a normal Falcon Arrow for a 2, then hits 2 Tamahashis in a row, and then starts kneeing her in the face multiple times and pins her for the win. Your winner and still AEW Women's Champion, Hikaru Shida. After the match, though, you got Hikaru selling the knee, and then Vicky just gets in the ring, starts screaming at Nyla, and slaps her. And Nyla just says, okay. And that's it. That was the end of that match. Not a bad match, for real. It was actually a really, really good match, considering. So, let me check here. All right, moving on. The women's match was pretty good, but then it does still leave me wondering, now that she's beat Nyla Rose, who is there? Who's next? Maybe we get Britt Baker. Let's hope so. Match of the night. Match of the night, without a doubt, and there is no way, no matter how much I try to describe this match to you guys, will I ever do this match any justice. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Fantastic. No doubt. Way better than I even thought it would be, could have imagined it being. Man, I dare say it was on par with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page match from earlier in the year. I dare say that. But we'll see. So you get them coming out. You get Lakers-inspired gear with the Young Bucks. You get the Celtic colors with the FTR. A lot of feeling out. I wrote it down. Feeling out process, back and forth, arm drags, hit tosses, commentary, bringing up their history about 2016 with the Young Bucks winning Tag Team of the Year and FTR coming this close. Of course, when they were in WWE, and they were that close, and they did have real legitimate beef because of that. Like I said, a lot of advantage, a lot of tag team work, FTR working really well. Match starts to take off. Nick starts to build some momentum, taking both men down. You get double hurricanranas by the Young Bucks. They send FTR to the outside. Matt goes to the outside. He starts showing some issues with his ankle. He rams Dax Hardwood into the post. Then you get some stomps in the corner. Dax's hand is bleeding, so Matt's like ripping at it, like trying to stretch it and trying to like hit it to make it bleed more. He gets his, they get him into the corner, and Nick's holding him, and Matt's just kicking the shit out of his hand. So Dax starts to make a comeback, but you get a missed moonsault by Matt. He drops Matt face first onto the ropes. Matt grabs at his ankle, so he's starting to play it off. Oh no, I'm hurt. He gets dropped, and he rolls to the outside. On the outside, Cash, though, starts to work over the leg. During all this, they're trying to tape up Dax Hardwood's hand, so Cash Wheeler, he's doing his thing. So he's working the leg. FTR starts to work over Matt, wrenching the leg. Repeated headbutts. They double team him, wrapping they got him, they're trying to hold him. He's trying to fight out of it. I love the way the story was told. The struggle he was trying to, avoid. The struggle. But they get him into the corner, and they wrap his leg around the post, continuing to not just work the ankle, but now work the leg in general. You get a lot of really, Cash then drops, Cash drops a knee onto Matt's leg, wrenching at the knee. Great teamwork by them guys, cutting the ring in half. Matt then pushes Dax into the corner post, but Cash, beautiful, like I said, really great teamwork, distracts Nick, and then sends Nick to the outside so Matt can't make the tag. FTR are the best team. Sucks they lost this match, but it is what it is, right? So, Matt unable to make the tag. You get a superplex by Dax. Cash goes for a splash, but that gets countered when Matt puts his knees up. Then an inside cradle for only a 2 count by Matt. Cash goes for the splash on the outside, but he misses and hits the barricade ribs first. This is where you get these series of attempts for them to try to keep Matt from making the tag to Nick. But he ends up tossing Cash to the outside. All sorts of crazy shit. He makes the tag. Nick comes in. He's a house on fire. He's clearing the ring. He's bouncing all over the place. Crowd's going nuts. He does, some dives to the outside. A nice big diving crossbody. But he gets caught by Cash, who then picks him up, moves him into a heart attack a la the Hart Foundation. You get a superplex attempt, but that gets countered. Nick escapes. A spear by Matt out of the corner. Then a running knee by Nick. Matt's knee buckles on when he tries to attempt a buckle bomb, I believe on Dax. You get a Tower of Doom spot by FTR. It's a Tower of Doom Bulldog, but Cash then spears Nick through the ropes. That gives them a 2 count. Crowd chant, count. This is awesome. You get 2 super kicks by Nick on Dax, a 3D by the Young Bucks, a Twist of Fate by Matt, and then a Swanton Bomb by Nick. They get a 2 count. They set up for some super kicks, but Cash then trips up Matt. A knee to Cash's face. A sit-out powerbomb by Dax on Matt. But then Nick immediately rolls him up for only a 2 count into a crucifix pin. Matt with a super kick hits it, but then hurts his knee. Huge lariat by Dax, who's able to recover quicker. FTR then set up for DIY's finisher. They actually name dropped DIY, so yippee. Cash sets up in the corner for the spike pile driver, but he gets pushed off the top by Nick, who then does a dive to the outside. Matt, he gets a sharpshooter on. Dax tries to get into the ropes, but he gets pulled back after a super kick. Double sharpshooters. Nick has Cash on the outside. They crawl to each other, get each other to the ropes, so the pin, so it gets broke up. Both teams, at this point, they're already past the 20-minute mark. They're just exhausted, and this match had me physically exhausted. But this match was so good. You get a running knee to the corner. Then they stomp the hand of Dax Hardwood. They start ripping at the hand. You get a BTE trigger. I thought it was over at this point, but that gets broke up like very, very last second by Cash Wheeler. A plancha by Nick to Cash on the outside. Matt gets a chair. Dax is taunting him. Hit me. Nick's on the other side. No, don't do it. So he acts like he's going to. Instead, he gives him a knee to the face. And he sets him up for the Meltzer driver. But then Cash grabs Nick, power bombs him to the table on the outside. They get Matt back on the inside. They hit him with a spiked pile driver, but only get a 2 count. FTR then, they literally go for the leg. They take the boot off. They grapevine it. They jump off the top and, stomp on it. You get an inverted figure 4. Cash runs at Nick, but he sidesteps, so Cash goes to the outside. A 450 splash off the top breaks up the submission hold. 2 count. Cash with a super kick onto Nick. Cash 2 sweets Matt and then flips him off and says, "Fuck you." Super kicks Matt. Goes for a 450 splash, but he misses a 450 springboard. Misses that. Super kick by Matt. 1, 2, 3, and the Young Bucks are your AEW World Tag Team Champions. Finally. I ain't even mad, man. I am not even mad. I think that is awesome. I think it's fantastic that they were able to get those championships back, if I'm just being real. I had a feeling there was no way they could play into the whole, if we lose, we don't win the titles. I think this is just the start. This will lead to something bigger, either at Revolution or Double or Nothing next year when they're hopefully once again in front of fans. That's at least the hope, right? But the match was... It was a sight to behold. And, oh man, it honestly, I feel like it was on par with Young Bucks and Omega and Page from early in the year. No doubt, whether you're looking at Impact or AEW or WWE or New Japan, it is no doubt a match of the year candidate to me. It is just that good. Find a way to watch this match. It is wonderful. Wonderful. We get the Elite Deletion match. Sammy Guevara taking on Matt Hardy. Hopefully this is the end. My God, was this match entertaining. It was all sorts of bonkers and crazy. And, I mean, from the start to the finish, this match was bonkers. But it lived up to everything you knew Matt Hardy could do. I'm guessing we're seeing a new version of Matt Hardy. At least that's what I got from this match. You made me into this, is what he said to Sammy Guevara. So, I'm guessing we're getting a new version of him. This match was insane, but it was such a fun match. Matt's on the phone talking to someone. Says, if I need you, call it a premonition. I need you to come to the compound. Sammy Guevara shows up, tying stuff in on the golf cart. And you see a little monster truck on the ground. He pulls up and he's looking. And you see Neo 1 show up. And Matt shows up in a image, welcoming him to the, Hardy compound. Then Matt shows up in a monster truck and runs over the golf cart. And he says that was absolutely orgasmic or something like that. And he gets out and says, that was a squash job. Oh my God. Sammy, though, he's fine. He comes out from around the other side of the monster truck and hits Matt with the trash can. So that officially starts the match. He dives off the top of the monster truck, gets a 2 count. They end up fighting around into the forest, a suplex by Matt on the ground. They fight to the front lawn of Matt's house. Like, this match was just insane, man. They're fighting on the front lawn of Matt's house. Sammy walks up, this is my house, Daddy's home. Suplexes Matt, some really stiff shots. He tries to drown Matt, but then he pulls out the Scepter of Mistopheles. And he attacks Sammy with that. They fight to a ring. It's got the full gear apron on it. And he does this like springboard clothesline by Sammy. Sammy then gets that, but that gets countered into a side effect. Matt gets a 2 count. Matt with a table sets it up. He power bombs Sammy into it. Gets a 2 count. That gets broke up by Santana or Ortiz. They start to beat up Matt. Do a double reverse suplex onto him. You see Private Party talking like, you ready? Yeah. So they show up. Sammy's on the top rope. He gets shoved off. So they fight Ortiz and Santana. This is when it really gets bonkers. Matt grabs some fireworks, starts shooting them off, so everyone's diving. Then you get Sammy Guevara getting fireworks, and he's shooting at everyone. They go running off. Oh my God. Matt is following him. You get like a bunch of high-flying offense by Private Party, and they look wonderful doing what they do. Matt finally finds Sammy. He's shooting. Matt is literally hitting this guy with fireworks. And it looked dangerous as hell. And he's falling into the mud. He's covered in mud. Matt's like, hurry, get up. We want the old folks to think this is a mud fight. Another callback to something WWE used to do. He hits him with a twist of fate, spiking him. Says it's time to cleanse you in the lake of reincarnation. And then here comes some dude massing. I wouldn't do that. And he's got the hurricane, and he rips the mask off, and it's fucking Gangrel! Gangrel! What? He looked pretty good shape, actually. He's talking about, I mentioned you first, and I mentored him, but I'd pick him because he's loyal. And somehow he helps the hurricane, and Sammy runs off, and he looks at Matt, he says, what took so long? 2 years? And Matt's like, it's long-term storytelling. He says, I had to come to AEW to finish. He's like, oh, okay. And then Sammy shows up and he attacks them. Sammy throws, him. They're fighting. He's like, what's a superhero to a Spanish god? And he throws him in. And then he shows back up as a reporter and gets thrown back in. So they end up fighting some more. They'll end up back at the ring fighting and beating each other up. And then Sammy with a sledgehammer chases after Matt. And then the rest of them start to follow. But they end up in into the Dome of Deletion. And Matt has Skarsgård shut the door. So it's just the two of them. And they fight into the ring. And Sammy's getting the upper hand. And he uses the ropes and the turnbuckles to attack him. He's choking Matt. And then he sets Matt up on a table, and he climbs all the way to the top of this thing and starts doing delete chants, and he does a swung tom off the top, but only gets a 2 count. You get a twist of fate that spikes Sammy. Sammy's on the apron, gets speared by Matt through 2 tables to the outside. Sammy Guevara is starting to bleed all over the place. Matt's with a chair. He hits Sammy in the head with that chair. Says, you made me into what I am. Then concertos Sammy Guevara head first onto the concrete, pins him for the 3 count, Has Private Party come in. They dump Sammy into a trash can. And all the while, all this stuff's happening. They have like this swell for a score. It's like building up. Like it was actually quite good. It was a really good score. But he has them literally dump him headfirst in a trash can. They load him up in a truck. And then Senor Benjamin takes him away. Oh, you hear the crowd pop when they see Senor Benjamin. Like, okay, I understand they weren't at full capacity tonight. But that crowd tonight was absolutely great. That was a really fantastic crowd tonight. So I want to give great applause to them. They were pretty damn loud, especially during the Jericho match. So Senor Benjamin made, an appearance. The Hardys celebrated with Private Party and Hurricane Helms, and yeah. We get a Lance Archer promo telling everyone that he's going to come for everyone and everyone's going to die. That Elite Deletion match was actually really entertaining. I just hope it's the end. MJF versus Chris Jericho. Of course, if MJF wins, MJF gets to join the Inner Circle. This is quite possibly one of Jericho's best matches in AEW. Again, this is just my opinion. And who am I? I'm just some dude sitting in his living room in front of a camera talking wrestling. So again, who am I? But MJF comes out with the Jericho jacket, and it's lighting up a little bit, but it's MJF, and Jericho comes to the ring, and that crowd was the loudest I think they had been all night, singing Judas to Chris Jericho, and it was so nice to hear. This is the best the crowd has sounded for an AEW event since they returned. I believe they have had, this is the most they've had there, with just 1,000 people. It makes such a difference. And maybe they turned up the audio for us at home to hear, but it was still really, really good. Jericho was clearly the face during this match. Like, this was all, these fans were all about Jericho. Like, he couldn't do no wrong. And this was basically like, who could out heel who? That's what this match was. It was like I said, it was really great. MJF wants to shake hands, but Jericho's like, sure, and he slaps him in the face. Furia punches. Big back body drop. Jericho chops MJF some more. Some shots in the corner. He Irish whips MJF into the corner, but MJF comes out and clotheslines Jericho. He's taunting the crowd. He starts to run the ropes, and he flips people off. Jericho takes advantage of that, uses a camera. He's holding the camera, and he's flipping him off and waving by. Jericho in, like, Super Saiyan form in this match. He goes for the Judas effect, but he misses and hits the corner post, so MJF starts going for the arm. That became the story of the match, was Jericho's arm. A knee by MJF, then a belly to back suplex by Jericho, who ducks an elbow. Jericho goes for a springboard clothesline, but he gets caught in the ropes and his arm gets wrapped up in the ropes. Then they bite each other's hands. Again, why all the biting, guys? Stop. Jericho goes for his running bulldog, but that gets countered and he gets shoved into the corner, crotch first. MJF takes advantage. MJF continues to work the arms into a hammerlock. Punches in the corner by Jericho. Aubrey Edwards gets in between them, and then Jericho pokes MJF in the eye. He begins to build momentum, hitting a lion salt. Jericho with some punches on the top rope into a Frankensteiner. MJF, he gets up to the top, gets crotched by Jericho. Jericho goes for the superplex, but MJF drops him face first, and then gets the arm and starts wrenching it with an arm drag and starts to try to work it over. A kick and a shove by MJF. Then an exchange of forearms, but then Jericho with some more chops. MJF gets the salt of the earth, which was really downplayed in this match. Like, oh, he's got the arm. It's the salt of the earth. You make it sound like it's a big deal. Is Jericho going to tap? Like, come on, guys. Have a little enthusiasm. Jericho, though, does get out. He counters that into the walls of Jericho, and MJF ends up getting to the ropes, and then Jericho stomps MJF. MJF tries to pull Aubrey in between them, and he ends up wrenching Jericho's arm off the rope, and then a code breaker through the middle rope, and then a heat seeker pile driver for a 2 count. MJF goes for the lion salt but misses. Code breaker by Chris Jericho. He gets a 2 count. Inside cradle for a 2 count by MJF. Jericho goes for the Judas effect, but he gets caught by MJF into the salt of the earth. Jericho does escape. Then Wardlow comes out with the diamond ring, the dynamite diamond ring. He goes for a shot with that, but Jericho ducks. He gets the back from Jake Hager, who is out there. And MJF's like, oh, so MJF just falls down. Aubrey turns around. He thinks he hit him up. But MJF uses that distraction to then roll up Chris Jericho, holding the tights and getting the win. MJF is then welcomed into the inner circle by Chris Jericho. This match was fantastic. It's not hyperbole. Hyperbole? I can't speak. I'm not speaking hyperbole. Hyperbole. I can't speak. I'm not exaggerating when I say this was probably like Jericho's best match in AEW. Like, legitimately, it was a fantastic match. MJF winning is the right decision. Now we're building that story. Jericho's like, welcome to the inner circle. Hugs him, welcomes him and Wardlow. It's a great start to the story. The story that I really am interested to see. So yeah, up to this point, this show's been fantastic. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. And then the main event happens. And oh. Let me check comments here real quick. See if I got any new comments. RHPW Wrestling, nobody. Now stop spamming. I liked them. So where am I? Yes. Okay. So Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. I wasn't sure. I knew this match would be violent. And like I said, this was not as violent to me as the Full Gear Lights Out match last year with Moxley and Omega. Whew. But it was still violent nonetheless. An I Quit match between these two for the championship. These two, man, they squared up right away. Moxley drops Eddie a bunch of chops. This was a lot of fighting on the outside, a lot of chair shots and raking the eyes, and then thumbtacks and barbed wire bats. Like, it was a lot of fighting and punching and kicking. Moxley tries to break Eddie's fingers at some point. Like, these guys just go crazy on each other. So I'm going to skip over some stuff. So they're scrapping. They're on the outside. Moxley suplexes Eddie on the concrete floor. He then tries to choke out Eddie. But Eddie then's biting him again. Biting. Why so much biting? Commentary starts talking about Tracy Smothers. Rest in peace. I actually have a t-shirt of him. I actually have it signed by him from a wrestling show I was at a few years ago. I don't put it on camera because of the nature of the shirt. But it was Tracy's shirt, and I wanted something signed by the guy because he is a legit legend in wrestling. But it's something I don't pull out a lot because of the nature of his shirt. It is what it is. Eddie hits Moxley with the chair. Mox gets the barbed wire bat. Hits Eddie with the chair or with the bat several times. Moxley's bleeding at this point. Eddie's bleeding from the mouth, and Moxley starts ripping at his forehead with the bat. I thought they were going to use that a lot more, actually. Mox, though, does swing and misses. A back-bodied, or belly-to-back by Eddie Kingston. He throws the chair at Moxley's face, and Moxley's mouth's bleeding. Both men on their feet. They're punching each other. Eddie Kingston starts to choke Jon Moxley. You get a chair shot to Moxley's back, and then he gets the bat, and Eddie Kingston removes a part of the barbed wire, wraps it around his hand, and just starts laying in some shots at Moxley's head. Spinning elbow by Eddie, and then a Kimura lock. Moxley, though, bites his hand to get it broken up. Eddie Kingston sets up 2 chairs next to each other like a bridge. Goes for the suplex, but Moxley blocks it and then turns around and reverses it into a suplex of his own. The one chair just kind of lands on it and doesn't move, and then it buckles. So it probably was a very stiff impact, for sure. Eddie then gets a bag. Hello, thumbtacks. Moxley then ducks a shot. He gets a German suplex, but Eddie gets back up, hits him with a belly to back. Moxley's back up, hits him with a clothesline. Paradigm shifts blocked, a belly to belly on Moxley onto the thumbtacks. Oh yeah, that probably hurt just a little bit. Eddie Kingston then gets the alcohol, but then he's like stomping on Moxley's crotch and just smearing, like he was rubbing dirt off his shoes. Then pours the alcohol onto his back. Like, fuck it, hit me with the barbed wire bat, but don't pour that alcohol on any cut, man. Oh my god, I can only imagine how that actually, because there's real cuts, and he just pours it. Equate, that equate stuff is painful, man. It is painful as hell. Whew, so you get a shot to the head of Moxley with the tacks. He puts it in his hand, he just punches him. Puts him in the bulldog choke. Tries choking him out. Goes for he starts kneeing Moxley in the head, but Moxley counters that into a sleeper hold of his own, and then hits him with a spike pile driver. He does an underhook suplex, but they call it the underhook paradigm shift. No, he did an underhook suplex, guys. Come on. Excalibur called that. Mox, he has that strand of barbed wire, and he's, talking to him, and he says something to him, and then Kingston flips him off. So he gets mad, and he puts him in that bulldog choke with that barbed wire, and Eddie Kingston finally quits. After the match, Eddie Kingston is super distraught. You can tell he's just mad at himself. Moxley, I'm a true champion. He tries to help him up, but Kingston's screw it. So maybe this rivalry continues, but without the championship, so Kingston can get the win, right? Then out comes Kenny Omega strutting. I don't want no part of this. I'm coming for your title. And then the show ends with Moxley celebrating. The match was violent and brutal, and I flippin' loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be. Legitimately everything I could have hoped. So, yeah, AEW Full Gear, man. Every AEW Full Gear was awesome. Honestly, it was awesome. But we gotta wait till Revolution in February. February 27th is their next show. It's a long ways away. So I'm interested to see. Maybe we get another Bash at the Beach this year. Another New Year's special. I don't know. But that was me. That is AEW's Full Gear. I really just want to know what you all think in the comments. Y'all let me know. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it could have been a better show? If you did watch it, I'm sure you didn't think it was bad. Because this was a pretty freaking awesome show. Where would you rank it amongst the best shows that AEW's had? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. And thank you to everyone who commented. I'm going to check the chat real quick. Sherace Ops, who made surprise debut. No one. Thank you, Aaron Miller, for speaking up. Yes, don't spam. RHPW, worth the money. It definitely was. And IO was good. Yeah, it was. Jaden Sanford. Yeah, the show was freaking spectacular. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I'm going to jump off here, get myself a beverage because my throat is dry from tonight. So yeah, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. Share this with your friends. And I'll be back, I believe, Monday. Monday. I will be on here with the Yo Bro Nation podcast. It's going to be live, and I believe Jake will be with me on this podcast this week. We're going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, actually, and where it's going to go. So, thank you guys very much. Y'all have a fantastic day. Remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and above all else, join the nation. Y'all have a fantastic night, and I'll see y'all later.